All right, let's have a chat about something related to software development, side projects, and building stuff as a solo developer. Those of you that follow me know that I've built a personal finance app called Budget Warden, competing in a sphere with a million competitors with no clear competitive advantage, pretty much doomed to fail, I guess. Now, this app, to give you an idea, is sort of what you would expect, a cloud-based application with a server. Users have accounts, and they can use the web client or the two native mobile apps. We have a native iOS and Android app to create your budget, plan your finances personally, and track your expenses if you want to. The primary ideas are to improve your personal financial health by planning ahead, not that much track manually individual transactions. If you are successful with this sort of thing, the natural progression is to, as a business model, introduce some sort of a paid plan, usually a subscription if you're doing the cloud stuff, because there's no way around that really to have a sustainable app, and introduce some complicated enough features that should probably make the user's life easier. And I don't want to do any of that. I wouldn't pay for such a thing personally, and I'm sick of complex multi-provider integrations that break all the time and are so fragile. And maybe I'm losing my mind, but I'm going to completely obliterate that cloud native app and make it fully local with only native clients. Budgeting happens locally. You can save files in your vault, and you can do device handover through your cloud drive essentially if you have a vault, sort of like Obsidian style for data storage so that you can do handovers. And maybe I'm losing my mind because at first it sounds like I'm bringing this into the past, but my take is this gives it at least some chance and actually differentiates it from the rest of the competition. There's just something very unsettling in sharing financial information, and a couple of actual users and friends have shared this with me as an experience, so I'm not just presuming that. You should probably not build this kind of app in any case. If you're doing product research, this is a saturated sphere. You don't have a niche. You're not bringing any especially sophisticated value. So why are you building that? I'm building it because the alternatives suck, like big time. Complicated? Not straightforward. They're very over-engineered. I mean, they support multiple flows, data flows, multiple ways to arrange your finances. You need to literally learn them for like days to use them. And even if you learn them, they are just so tiring. And that shouldn't be the case for apps you use at home for personal needs. It should be the opposite way. They should be simple, straightforward, reliable. So that was my motivation for building that. I needed it primarily, and I hate the alternatives. I really do. And I hate having Excel sheets of spreadsheets all over the place because they change all the time and I evolve them all the time and I cannot do reporting back in time at any point. It's just a nightmare. Being that that is my motivation, I underestimated how important a business model is to actually achieving high quality software. You might be a very good developer and have the confidence that you can do a great user experience, meaning do some native, pretty nice user interface. You can build a very performant app that is well engineered, doesn't break, tested well. You can do that probably. You probably underestimate the necessary effort to do so because pretty much everybody underestimates the necessary effort. And also software engineers are very bad at understanding the importance of how this thing will sell long-term and how it will sustain itself as a business, the relation of that to software quality. Ultimately, in order to have a quality product, you can probably sink months or years into your own personal thing. And we're talking about doing solo projects right now on the side. You can sink months or years and do something that is very high quality. You probably can, and that will be a net loss for you, but you might do it for the community or whatever. whatever your reasons are, or just bet that it will be successful. And in the future, you probably will be able to work on it more because it will become sustainable in some way. The problem is, to have really high quality software, you need to constantly commit time and effort to fix issues, improve it, and keep it up to date. And I don't mean bolting it with 1 million features, not at all, but even to just keep the feature set working throughout operating system updates, time, and just fixing bugs, because there will be some. And to do that, you need to spend time and effort. So software quality, in my opinion, is inherently very much related to the business model you implement. So in a nutshell, what I'm saying is I really want to work on my app. To work on my app, it needs to be sustainable in some form of way. There are two business models that are possible here, and only one is really possible. If I keep it in the cloud and do this thing, I currently like how the application works. It's straightforward, simple, one way to budget so that it holds your hand and tells you, okay, try this, and you can improve your finances. That was the idea. And if I keep the cloud route and want people to subscribe and pay monthly for this, well, I would need to implement some features in the form of quite sophisticated, almost I would call them business level features. Integrate with different bank services, APIs. Most of these apps would probably go towards the AI route and do some assistance to give you reporting and help you with budgeting. But I don't want to do that because I would hate these features. And I would hate bloating my app with unnecessary things so that it's complicated enough to sell a subscription that I don't think anyone would want to buy, because I wouldn't want to buy it, honestly. And I want, ideally, to provide a premium experience with a limited set of features and a very performant native app. It's well-researched user interface, well-tested and reliable. I personally find it a breath of fresh air to pay a one-time fee for software that is built like this. So that route is the alternative I see. And it's not just the business model, but it defines, I think it strengthens what I think the primary goals of my application are. That scene of apps is exhausting, and I wanted to bring clarity with a very performant user experience. And a lot of effort is put into small details and reliability, because I really wanted to be literally a breath of fresh air. And that's my reasoning why I'm migrating this. I might be going crazy because this sounds like going back in time. Maybe going back in time is what we need a little bit, at least in some aspects. I think the most important thing in all of this is, if I go the route in making my app a lot more complicated in the cloud and implement the whole AI thing and a lot of summarization features and bank integration, would I be proud of it as a piece of work? Not just something to sell, but as the end product? No. And I'm coming to realize that actually thinking about the business model and how something is going to sustain itself long term is directly related to how good it's going to be and how much time I can spend on it and on details. With this change, I'll be a lot more proud of it. Now, to give you some idea what I'm planning, naturally, cloud goes. So the entire server is gone. We're talking about files. I want to have a file format, which will be some JSON. I think the user will choose a vault, which will be just a folder where he can save his stuff. This way he can save it in iCloud if he's a Mac user, and he can get an automatic handover throughout his devices. This is important. You want to access your reports on your phone and your PC, of course. Having the flexibility to choose the vault means you can also have it only on your computer. Of course, you won't really be able to share your budget with someone you're living with, like a family member. And that is a very big downside, you might think. I don't think so. In fact, the current users seem to be using one device only, so they're not really utilizing that shared budget functionality which we have with the cloud capabilities. And Even if people who want shared budgets are not my target audience, I honestly don't care. Single households are quite a lot of people. And on top of that, even if you have a family, it's, in my experience, usually one person who takes the initiative, one person who tracks the finances. It's very rare that people use a shared system. There are those people, and they are welcome to use something else. Like, it's so hard learning to just let go of some people. They are not your target audience. Well, cool. There are so many other things they can use. If you focus on a group of people, you can build something really good, especially as a solo dev. Like, you can't do something for everyone. You need a team of so many people, and you're not going to succeed. You're going to build something complicated on your own. If you want simplicity, a premium experience, very reliable features, you need a small feature set, and that comes hand in hand with cutting some audience out. You need to. There's no way around that. And that audience will hate your app. So be it. Now, how I'll handle these? These will be fully native, built with the native frameworks, meaning WinUI on Windows, SwiftUI on Mac and iOS, and Jetpack Compose on Android. They will have a shared core, which I've already started building, and I've already started working on the Mac and iOS apps. And the core needs to be written in a programming language that is, first of all, performant and gives me low-level control, because I want this to be a small performant app. This is a quality application. So the options are really only a few, because you need to share between Swift, C++ on Windows, and on Android I have Kotlin, and I can do some interops. But the options really are C, C++, and Rust, and some other options that can basically generate C bindings. Realistically, with my experience, C and Rust are the two options I would go for. So I'm building the core in C currently, not in Rust, because I don't want to build a foreign function interface, and I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it being memory unsafe. I will handle that. It's gonna be fine. Relax. I know that all of you Rust lovers are currently typing, how can you start a project in a memory unsafe language in 2026? You're insane. Duh, I'm insane. Did you hear what I just said? So a shared C core, native apps for all platforms. I might add Linux later, but that's a last priority. Not because I use it. I'll probably use the mobile app mostly. So I'm building this app, and I can't use the desktop app on my system because I'm not building a Linux app. But as I said, it's going to be a one-time payment. And all of these other platforms have some form of store with payment and distribution system. On Linux currently, I would need to do my own distribution, and sorry, but it is a last priority in terms of market share. That's just the reality. An interesting idea, though, is some form of CLI that could be free, and that's very unconventional, but it could be fun, I think. And I might build it just for the fun of it. Yeah, I think it might be fun to have this personal finance capabilities in some form of CLI or TUI. It will be just a fun thing to do. So yeah, I just wanted to chat about this. I am sick of the quality of software. I want to be proud of it, and I want it to be good. And I think it probably will be more successful this way than not at all in the other case, if I hate it as well. Please tell me, do you think I'm losing my mind? Or am I maybe up to something here? I don't know. That's why I'm making this video, because I really am interested in other people's perspective. I might be looking at it from a very narrow angle, software developer's take, which is not relevant, but let me know what you think. And as always, take care.